Hi, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our picks and your picks, it'll be another profitable day for you. College football week 5. We will go through the Friday night plays that we gave out yesterday, as well as get into the Saturday slate. I will say this is not the biggest slate I've ever had by any stretch of the imagination, but some interesting games nonetheless. So, and definitely I think a lot of opportunities to make some money. So we'll start with the Friday night games. We went through this already. We do have Louisville. I know the line's currently at 3.5. We did get it at 3. And we do like the under on this particular matchup as well. So we did take Louisville -3, -1.5 first half, -0.5 first quarter, under the 56 total, under 12.5 total first quarter, and under 27.5 is where we have this game here. So like I said, Louisville -0.5 first quarter, -1.5 first half, -3 for the game. And then under 12.5 first quarter, under 27.5 first half, and under 56 for the game on this Louisville matchup. Well, if I could talk, that would be even better, right? So on that one there for you. Next game up is we like tonight is going to be Oregon State, Utah. This line has moved. We did grab this when it was Oregon State at -3 a few days back. It is currently, looks like it's sitting around 4.5. I did see a couple sites at 3.5. So if you like the Oregon State, jump on those before the alternate. You can always go alternate spread, but you also are giving up, more juice, obviously, or more vig on that one. So we did like Oregon State -0.5 first quarter, -1.5 first half, and then -3 for the game. This should be a rock'em sock'em robot type of game. Should be very physical. It's hard to win at Oregon State. That's been proven in the past. Utah's a great team. They have great offense and defensive line. They're a very physical team. They tend to beat everybody up, but Oregon State's got some hog molly, so to speak, as well. So it should be strength on strength for the most part there. It's just curious, quarterback-wise, I haven't heard anything about Cam Rising playing tonight. I don't know if he is. DJU, let's see if he can live up to that Clemson hype or his high school hype coming out of high school, if he can live up to that and win this big game. So then we'll get into the Saturday slate. First game out of the boot is going to be USC Colorado, currently 21.5 spread. USC going into Boulder. And then the total's down to 72.5 on that one there. We are on USC. So we like the USC -6.5 in the first quarter, -12.5 first half, -21.5 for the game. If we saw the Colorado game against Oregon last week, I don't expect it to be where Colorado can't move the ball, so to speak, but I expect USC to run them down the field, and then Colorado to hit some snags here and there. A USC defense, I don't think anybody would think is as good as the Oregon defense, but they still should cause a lot of havoc in there. We also like the under. We did grab this already, but a few days back when it was sitting at 73.5, I still like it under 72.5. I mean, this smells like, to me, it smells like 42-14, 42-17. I mean, it's kind of where it's, smells like, so to speak. So we did take, let's see, Oregon. Not Oregon. How about USC under 17.5 total first quarter, under 38.5 total first half, and under 73.5 total for the game. So we'll go through those again on the USC Colorado game. USC -6.5 first quarter, -12.5 first half, -21.5 for the game. And if you want to buy it down to 21 to bring the push into play, you got no problem with that. Spend a little extra there. USC under 17.5 total first quarter, under 38.5 total first half, and under 73.5 for the game. If you do like the under, make sure you grab the 73.5s before they disappear. If you like the over, the line's moving your way on that particular matchup. So next game up for us is actually going to be Florida and Kentucky. In the Lexington, Florida, a 1.5 point dog to Kentucky in this one. I'll put it this, I think it's going to be a tight game. I think Florida wins, so therefore the 1.5's not really going to slow us down. Or not Florida, I'm sorry. I think Kentucky wins, so that the 1.5 is not going to slow us down in this one. Necessarily don't care for the total. I think it's pretty close to the number, but we will take a Kentucky minus a half first quarter. Kentucky minus a half first half. And then also Kentucky minus 1.5 for the game. So that Kentucky-Florida game, Kentucky minus a half first quarter, minus a half first half, and minus 1.5 for the game. Next game up for us, this is one of the games we love probably the most, is going to be Penn State, Northwestern. At Northwestern, Penn State has been extremely dominant, especially against crappy teams. They are a little slow starting sometimes on the road, though, so we do have a little bit for that as well. But we did take this, I want to say Monday or Tuesday, just because we thought the line was going to move. Penn State minus 6.5 first quarter, Penn State minus 14.5 first half, and Penn State minus 25.5 for the game. And we do like one underplay, and that's going to be the first quarter, under 9.5 total first quarter. Penn State likes to come out and run the ball. I don't think they're going to give up any points in the first quarter unless it's some weird play on that one. So we think a 7-0 win for a 7-0 end of first quarter is probably where that game comes in. And then Penn State tends to trounce it out from there. So give you that one more time. Penn State, Northwestern. Penn State minus 6.5 first quarter, minus 14.5 first half, and then minus 25.5 for the game. I still like them minus the 27 as well. I think they're going to beat them by 30 plus. Penn State under 9.5 total first quarter in that particular matchup. Then we get to the next 9 o'clock window out here, or noon Eastern game, Clemson-Syracuse. This is another game we like, game in Syracuse. Clemson coming off of that big defeat at home with Florida State. We did like Syracuse. We did get it at the 7 for the game, but we also like Syracuse plus 2.5 the first quarter, Syracuse plus 3.5 first half, and then Syracuse plus 7 for the game. So one more time, that Syracuse-Clemson matchup in Syracuse. Syracuse plus 2.5 first quarter, plus 3.5 first half, and plus 7 for the game. I think they have a legitimate shot to win this game at home. Need a few breaks probably to turn their way to do so, but I think they definitely can cover the 7. I think this should be rather tight throughout. But, Syracuse, definitely a live dog, in my opinion, here, going against Clemson, as they've just not had it this year. Klubnik has not been the answer that they hoped he was going to be. It does happen, right? So we do get him wrong. Dabo seems to be getting a lot of them wrong as of late. So, we see. We didn't. I'll run through the rest of the noon games: A&M, Arkansas, Minnesota, UAB, Tulane, Dominion, Marshall, South Alabama, James Madison, Utah State, UConn, Buffalo, Akron. Nothing we really liked there. Nothing stood out. Then we get into like the Eastern against Central Michigan, Virginia, Boston College. Nothing there. Although if you're going to bet that game, like bet Boston College to make some points on that one there. Arizona State, Cal at a noon game West is kind of weird. Nothing on Michigan, Nebraska. I mean, if we had to lean there, it would be Michigan. Georgia, Auburn. If we had to lean anywhere, it would be to the under. Kansas, Texas. I think that number right around 17 is the ticket. I really do. I mean, 34-17, 38-21, something to that effect for that one there. Indiana, Maryland, nothing there for us. Next game up, though, we do like 12:30 out here west, 3:30 to Eastern. UCF at home against Baylor. This line has jockeyed around all over the place. So UCF went from a 14-point favorite basically down to 11.5. That's where we smacked the 11.5. We really like UCF in this matchup. Baylor just does not have any firepower so far this year, and UCF definitely, the Central Florida does. So UCF minus 3.5 first quarter, minus 6.5 first half, and minus 11.5 for the game. So we'll give you that one more time, that UCF-Baylor game. UCF minus 3.5 first quarter, minus 6.5 first half, and minus 11.5 for the game. Anything under 13.5, I like that. I think they're going to win pretty easily by 2 touchdowns plus. In that particular matchup. Didn't care for anything on Northern Illinois, Toledo, Bowling Green, Georgia Tech, same thing. Houston, Texas Tech, same thing. Illinois, Purdue. You have to love Big Ten football to watch that matchup. South Florida, Navy, no favor on that one. Ball State, Western Michigan, is another pass. Arkansas State, UMass, another pass. But at the 1 o'clock West, 4 o'clock Eastern game, Missouri at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt 0-4 against the spread. One of the winless teams against the spread so far this year. Missouri, a 13.5-point favorite going into that matchup. And Missouri has been playing well, and the offense has been moving the ball, which we think is going to be enough to get that done. So Missouri minus 3.5 first quarter, Missouri minus 6.5 first half, and Missouri minus 13.5 for the game. So that Missouri-Vanderbilt game in Vanderbilt, Missouri minus 3.5 first quarter, minus 6.5 first half, and minus 13.5 for the game. And then we'll get going through the rest of the lineup here. New Mexico-Wyoming was a pass. Hawaii-UNLV was a pass. Boise State-Memphis should be an interesting game, but was a pass. LSU-Ole Miss. I can't get a read on this one, and Ole Miss on that one. Oregon-Stanford. That should be a trounce in that particular game. Next game up, Oklahoma at home against Iowa State. 4 o'clock out west, 7 o'clock Eastern time, and 6 o'clock local time for this game. Oklahoma has been playing extremely well, and they tend to beat the crap out of the bad teams. They should, realistically, they should have took care of Cincinnati a little bit better. It was a road game. This is a home game. We definitely see a little bit different story going here. Iowa State with all the scandals at the start of the year with all the betting stuff. So this is one of the games that we like quite a bit here. So Oklahoma minus 6.5 first quarter, minus 10.5 first half, minus 19.5 for the games where we got those. At 20, I'm not scared. When it gets to 21, that you might need to look at that a couple times. But and then also we like the over in this particular game is we think, honestly, Oklahoma can pretty much cover this by themselves, and I would expect them to pretty much do that in this particular one. Iowa State does not have, hell, they gave up 20-plus points to Iowa, and that's like giving up 50 to everybody else. So we do like the over 9.5 total first quarter, over 25.5 total first half, and over 48 total for the game. So we'll give you that whole thing for Oklahoma, Iowa State one more time. Oklahoma minus 6.5 first quarter, minus 10.5 first half, and minus 19.5 for the game. We also like the over total 9.5 first quarter, 25.5 total first half, and over 48.5 total for the game. Then we'll get on Coastal Carolina, Georgia Southern was a pass. East Carolina game, Rice was a pass. Texas State, Southern Mississippi, pass. Notre Dame, Duke. A lot of tempting stuff, and we might still add this one to the slate here. I just see if Notre Dame can bounce back. Normally, when somebody takes a big defeat like that, it takes them an additional week. Duke getting 5.5 is pretty interesting. South Carolina, Tennessee, pass. Michigan State, Iowa, 4:30 out west, 6:30 Central, where the game's, and then 7:30 out east. Michigan State, a 12.5-point dog, going to Iowa, 36.5 total. Both of these offenses, to put it mildly, suck. That's why the total's at 36.5. Michigan State hasn't scored against anybody on the field or at home. Iowa, basically the same thing. So we're rolling just unders on this particular game. Under 7.5 total first quarter. Under 18.5 total first half. And under 36.5 total for the game. It's pretty sad when we're betting college football under 36.5. But that's just how inept these offenses are. So I'll give you these one more time. Iowa, Michigan State under 7.5 first quarter, under 18.5 first half, and under 36.5 for the game. And then the last game that we like for the day, we'll just skip ahead to that one, is going to be Washington, Arizona in Tucson, playing Arizona. That line is up to 20. That line's been booking. As we grabbed it Monday at 17.5, and I was like, I don't think we're going to see 17, so we better hop on here before this line gets crazy. It has. I still like it at 20. Arizona will be able to move the ball a bit, I believe, but Washington's offense with Michael Penix Jr. is absolutely ridiculous. So we did take Washington minus 4.5 first quarter, Washington minus 10.5 first half, Washington minus 17.5 for the game. And then we also took one overplay in this one, and that's going to be the first half. Washington over 34.5 first half, as I believe they could put up 35 by themselves on Arizona in the first half. They've done this multiple times already this season, and then they've put the brakes on in the second half. The total for the first quarter was still pretty high, around the 17 range, so we stayed away from that. And we didn't necessarily want to touch the total for the game at 66. At 66, you need Arizona roughly to score 20 or 21. 45-21 puts you at 66. And if you want the over, you're going to need more than that. I think that's quite I don't know if Arizona can score 21. So therefore, we stayed away from that one as well. But Washington minus 4.5 first quarter, minus 10.5 first half, minus 17.5 for the game, and then over the 34.5 first half. Is I think they're all wheels, they're all gas, no brakes for the first half at least. And if they've got a huge lead, they definitely put the brakes on the second half, which a lot of teams do. Rest the starters, don't get them hurt, all that kind of fun stuff. So a lot, like I said, not as big a slate on Saturday as we normally would have. There's just a lot of games off the board, I think, this week. Definitely more matchups last week and stuff like that. So make sure you do check out the Google Sheet in the comments section of this episode, as you will find a link to all of our bets, how much we wager, our units wagered on there, the juice, what book they were bet at. So make sure you do get a chance to check that out when you get a minute. When you get in there, I will give you a little tutorial. There are 4 sheets. Number 1 is football last year. 2 is baseball this year. 3 is football this year, and that's going to be college and pro. And then 4 is basketball. That'll be college and pro as well. We have a few futures placed already on basketball. So check that out when you get some time. Like I said, on the Google Sheet, there'll be a link to it in the comment section on this episode. Also, make sure you subscribe and get notifications to the YouTube channel. That way, when we drop our bets, you get those first. Plus, you'll get all of our best bets first, such as college football, like all the plays we went through today, what our best bet is there, NFL football, baseball, basketball, Formula One, English Premier League, UFC, all kinds of different stuff. So if we've got a best bet, we definitely want to get that out to you, and it's extremely easy to find when your subscription button, or if you get notified on your phone as well, to check that out when we drop those. I greatly appreciate everybody's support as always. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.